This week, New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick joined the long list of greats. The kids call them GOATs, greatest of all time, that just can't quit on top. It's not a sports story. Sure, there's Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. But then there are the politicians and TV hosts, Supreme Court justices. We, of course, don't worry, we won't name names when it comes to TV hosts, who just can't take the curtain call. Belichick has more Super Bowl rings than he does fingers on one hand, and yet at 71 years old, he's still out there on Sunday. Rather than leaving undefeated teams vying for the Super Bowl after having won the Super Bowl, he's now trying to get out of last place. The Patriots are 1-4. Elizabeth Prann, NewsNation contributor, is with us now. Look, you know a lot about this, right? Your husband, a very successful baseball player, incredible career in the bigs. You think it's a male thing? I mean, Dianne Feinstein wouldn't even leave the Senate.
Well, personally, yes. I think I'm a little bit sexist, but I think this is an opportunity for you, perhaps, to tell our viewers that you're going to be quitting golf. You're going out on top. You've reached the peak. I don't know how that's going to affect the social life of the said husband. I am sexist. I think it's a male thing. I think someone like Oprah, who's leaving you wanting more, going out on top. Speaking of my husband, though, he did reach a point in his career where he looked at me and he said, I'm 40 years old. I have plenty of offers, but when I get on the mound, I know that I am not producing the quality that I produced when I was 25, 35, even 37, 38. 39, you know, it was still a good year. It was still a good year, not quite World Series bound. But like I said, Leland, this is your opportunity. If you want to tell the viewers the GOAT is retiring, then I know where my husband's going to be on the weekends.
Yeah, no, look, it's possible, of course. I mean, I think I need to get just a little bit better before that time comes. There is hope of some improvement, not much. But I'm wondering about the psychology of this, and I think about this in Washington. You think it's power? Is it ego? What is that thing?
I think accolades are currency, right? I think when you reach that level of whether it's fame, whether it's money, whatever it is that feeds you, I think that it's the sports. You know, it's everywhere. You're the greatest, right? When you perform like that on top, and for him, and yes, he was arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. But it also was a product of really everyone on his team. It was a product of the management. There was a lot of things that went into this golden era that he was involved with. But maybe in his mind, it was all him, and he's still hanging on to that. And I think that is really what the gasoline in his engine, right? And so he doesn't want to. Yeah. He's not the Oprah. He's not.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting you bring up Oprah as one of the very few people who leave television voluntarily, right? And to your great credit as well, you said, you know, at times my family's more important than my career. I'm wondering, though, at some level, if it's people who devote everything to one thing, right? Bill Belichick, unmarried, 71 years old, he's still out there. Nobody at 71 thinks they have their fastball the way they did at 61 or at 55. It's just not the way life works. And I think you might be onto something, that there's an arrogance there that you just can't.
Well,
you can't get through it.
I do want to. I want to agree with you. So first of all, on the record, I'm agreeing with you. But I think diversifying is a conversation that you and I have talked about. It's a conversation that a lot of people ask my husband, Darren, how he was so successful for almost 20 years in the major leagues. And he said, remember, I was an academic scholarship. So it had nothing to do with the fact that he was going to be an all-star at 16. That was never in the cards. When we met in college, he was going to be a doctor. There was a diversification in his portfolio, and I think that led to his success. I think I'm going to be going over on your time, though. Am I killing you here?
No, you're fine, but we're going to say goodbye. I would add to that one last thing. It's people who think that there's things that are more important than themselves, which I know Darren does. He thinks you and the kids are far more important. He and I have talked about that on the golf course many times. We'll talk soon, all right? Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.